Hey everyone, welcome back to the Maverick channel. I'm reporting here from this warm and sunny place. Wherever you might be, whatever you might be doing, good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Welcome to the Maverick channel. Here we try to talk about real world use cases or use cases in the world, especially if you can be tied into the financial world, the technological world, especially if this technology is tied into things like AI, machine learning, neural networks, and something interesting in the stock market. On that other side, traditional markets, we like to look at that. However, if you're new to this channel, welcome to the Maverick channel. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. If you've always been here, I truly appreciate the support. So today we're going to talk about Certix Network. So what they do is that they audit code, they look at smart contracts, and they've developed some decentralized and automated ways of doing that, of carrying out the whole process. We're going to briefly talk about that, but I've done a detailed video about them, or semi-detailed video about Certix Network, and I think it's pretty interesting. I'm more into the technology, but there's some good and bad that can come as a result of these auditing firms. Obviously, we all know this, but we'll cover that. We're also going to talk about a little bit of Fidelity, some venture capitalists out there, the SEC, the Securities Exchange in the United States. We're going to talk about Cardano with Charles Hoskinson, and something about the Cosmos network and some partnerships with Kudos, which is pretty interesting stuff. So briefly talk about Certix Network. These guys, they audit smart contracts, and they've developed clever ways of auditing smart contracts, including and not limited to building front ends for companies so that they can interact with their smart contracts and know, also labeling the coding within there so you can easily know what could potentially result into a vulnerability or that an exploit and where it originated. So they have like the Certix Shield, which is sort of like insurance. You can deposit your tokens somewhere else, and there is a CertiK pool. So for example, let's first cover this. If you have the CertiK tokens, which are the native tokens of the Certix network, it's a proof of stake network, which is on the Cosmos network. So it has interchain connectivity and all that. So basically you can take your tokens, you can stake them, get a reward. You can also put them in a pool within the Certix ecosystem, which is supposed to be decentralized. So what this pool is used for example, if you're a player out there and you have your tokens in a smart contract somewhere, and due to a certain vulnerability that smart contract is compromised, then if with enough proof, tokens can be taken out of this pool and they used to reimburse you. That's pretty interesting. So there's a CertiK chain, which is the chain that allows the obviously the blockchain interaction, the finality, the transaction layers, and so on. And there's the security oracles that they built. They've also built something else known as the security combinator, or the Certix. So they have the Certix security oracles and the oracle combinator. And the way this is all supposed to help in the process of certifying smart contracts, auditing smart contracts. And they have what they call global participants. So the verification process goes through their technologies, goes through the global participants, and it channels into as it goes through these stages, it's refined. So at the end, you have your smart contracts, and you can look at what could potentially go wrong with them. Basically, that's their process. And they've developed the deep C language, which is specifically designed for smart contracts, creating safe smart contracts. So they have some pretty interesting product suites. So the Certix Shield, the Certix chain, the deep C, Skynet, and Oracle. So I think what these guys are trying to do is pretty interesting, especially we've seen so many hacks within the DeFi space. So building and continued certification, for example, Halborn, and these firms that have come up to establish themselves as audit firms for smart contract, they're gaining reputation within the crypto space. Companies like Halborn, companies like CertiK or CertiK, and we've also seen PricewaterhouseCoopers trying to embed itself within this auditing business, which makes sense. They're a traditional auditing firm. So if you want to look at more details within this ecosystem, you can check out their website, but you can read about these 4 products. They're really interesting. You can also check out their wallet where all the staking happens. You can look at the different validators they have and the different products they offer, their governance, I think the games, I guess. You can also swap straight away from the Binance Smart Chain into their tokens as well. So they have a swap feature as well. So they have their little decentralized exchange here. You can come and check out all that. I think it's pretty interesting. They also have their token, which is a CCK token. If you're into the whole investment thing, it's something you could look into, or if you want to stake and get a reward. So the other interesting thing is that we see these companies, we've seen many companies gain a lot of interest within the VC side, investment side, but we've also seen certain companies like CertiK which are auditing smart contracts, they could easily expand into behemoths in the future. For example, for instance, if you have a legitimate company dealing with high net worth individuals, they have lawyers, this and that. You want whatever product suite you're building to be legitimate. You want it to have that stamp of approval. So once these companies, if CertiK ever establishes itself as that company that has a very good reputation as far as auditing smart contracts is concerned, I think it's something you might want to look into, like these VCs. For example, you can see here, smart contract auditing firm CertiK completes 24 million funding round. It's a Series B funding. And also, if you look deeper in this article, obviously you can find out more information on why this happened. I just wanted to bring to your attention that there's a lot of light being shown to such products. So from this article here, the SEC reportedly contracts blockchain analytics firm to monitor DeFi industry. This is not CertiK. This is a different firm. So we can see that the SEC, the regulators, they're starting to communicate with these companies that have a deeper understanding, they have a deeper knowledge of smart contracts. So you can see, or the DeFi world and blockchains. So the US Securities and Exchange Commission has reportedly signed a $125,000 deal with blockchain analytics firm Untitled.ai to help monitor and regulate decentralized finance industry. So, for example, we can see here something that Gary Gensler, who's the commissioner of the SEC, Gary Gensler urging decentralized finance or DeFi projects to register with the agency, which is the Unchained.ai, claiming with SEC, claiming they are decentralized in some aspects but highly decentralized in other aspects. So Gensler said that the DeFi platform developers and others could constitute a centralized team falling within the SEC's regulatory umbrella. So the SEC recently announced it had its first case involving securities using DeFi technology, which resulted in an enforcement action. So we've seen with the Kick Interactive, the current case with the Repo team. So the SEC, I think, is trying to get a deeper understanding. Gary Gensler, we know he's given lectures about digital currencies, but generally they're trying to get a deeper understanding of what is going on. Whatever this means, it might be good for the crypto space, because if the regulators need to have a deeper understanding of what is going on so that they understand better what they're regulating. And the hope is that they do not introduce reforms that are not very reformational as far as cryptocurrencies are concerned. And the idea is that this is mainly focused around the United States. The United States should not be left behind. So I think they should look into as much as they can to gain as much information as they can within the crypto space, so that all the regulators can form some kind of regulation that is favorable for this growing industry. But that's it. That's mostly in the US. The crypto space expands way beyond the US, but we'll see how that plays out. The US is still a big player, very influential. A lot of capital comes from there. So next we see venture capitalist firms. Their interest continues to grow. I've talked about this a lot in my videos, but for example, you can see here Fidelity's crypto ambitions are bigger than expected. So Fidelity's plan to corner the cryptocurrency market appears to be more ambitious than previously imagined, as the asset manager looks to provide more institutional pathways to digital assets. So in recent interview with the Boston Globe, Kristen Sandler, head of the sales and marketing for Fidelity Digital Assets, said that institutional interest in crypto is growing. For most investors, the primary entry into cryptos has been Bitcoin and to a lesser extent Ether, which is Ethereum. So these institutions, they realize that they cannot just focus on just high net worth individuals and institutions. They need to break out into the retail investors, because there's a lot of activity out there. They're seeing companies like Binance, the Binance ecosystem. They're seeing Coinbase, other smaller exchanges, DeFi protocols. They're making bank. They're making a lot of money. So most of these institutions, they're like, we can't afford to miss out on this opportunity. We have to engage ourselves. We have to become relevant so that we're not left behind. This space is growing extremely fast. So that's it with the continued interest of institutions in the crypto space. Another interesting thing here is Jack Dorsey's Square sets out to build a decentralized Bitcoin exchange. We've seen Jack Dorsey with Elon Musk, with Cathie Wood on the B word. These are people really bullish around the crypto ecosystem, especially a person like Jack Dorsey with Square. So he has a payment firm called Square. He's been extremely bullish around the Bitcoin ecosystem and believing into that narrative that really Bitcoin can bring financial freedom, especially banking the unbanked or debanking the banked, whatever. So Jack Dorsey is planning to build a decentralized exchange for Bitcoin specifically. We've seen some Bitcoin exchanges being built. I think I've seen one decentralized Bitcoin exchange. I've talked about it. I can't remember the name off the top of my head right now, but we've increasingly seen that someone like Jack Dorsey, an individual person, participating within a decentralized network like the Bitcoin network, saying that I want to build a decentralized exchange around the Bitcoin ecosystem. This is really good for the whole ecosystem, especially the way we're seeing regulation. Regulation is really clamping down on the system, and the way the public, or the way the general people, the retailers, the way generally we the proletariat perceive the government and the decisions that they make around financial, this is a very sensitive issue which could potentially lead to the financial sector separating from state. So governments want to regulate this space, but at the same time they have to take note that they don't want to become irrelevant in this space. So in the midst of all that regulation, it's very important that we have decentralized solutions that are independent on their own, and they can be utilized by anyone regardless of where they are, regardless of what their net worth is, regardless of what they have access to. They can leverage these applications and play at the same level playing field as other high net worth people out there, or other people with better opportunities in the world. The other thing we want to look at, Cardano. Everyone knows Cardano, 12th September, the long awaited upgrade of the Alonzo upgrade. So this is supposed to bring smart contract capabilities to the Cardano ecosystem. Cardano Alonzo hard fork, what you need to know. Guys, this is a beautiful article. It's relatively long, but it will take you through the whole essence of Cardano, where they've come from and where they're going, and it's actually summarized. It's not that long. It's summarized. I think it will take you like 10 minutes to read. I'll just read you the first paragraph. The Alonzo hard fork is a major upgrade on the Cardano network that sees the much anticipated implementation of smart contract functionality. Smart contracts are pieces of computer code that automatically execute when certain predefined conditions are met. So when you read this article, you can read about the errors of Cardano. They refer to there's different stages of Cardano. They refer to as errors. There's a Byron error. There's a Shelley error. There's a Gauguin error where we're going to, where Cardano is going to rather. There's a Basho error. There's a Voltaire error. So I'll just read through the summaries of the errors quickly. So the Byron error, for example, sets up the foundation code for Cardano, allows the users to exchange Cardano, the ADA token, named after a revolutionary programmer named Ada Lovelace. They can use these tokens to mine ADA. Well, you can mine ADA with their proof of stake consensus algorithm. So Cardano has a proof of stake consensus algorithm, or it's proof of stake. The Shelley, which focuses on decentralizing the network by setting up incentives for users to host their own nodes. The main goal of this era is to make sure the nodes or individual computers are run by a diverse group of network participants rather than a small centralized group of users. There's Gauguin, which introduces smart contracts capabilities to the network, allowing developers to create decentralized applications on top of Cardano. Then there's Basho, which will be in the next stages, improves the underlying performance of the Cardano network to be able to process more transactions and scale up. This era also introduces sidechains, which is a means of scaling a network using multiple blockchains. So then Voltaire, which adds a voting and treasury system for self-sustaining governance. Users will be able to stake their funds to influence future development on the network. So of course we know that Cardano is on its final stages of the Shelley era. So as we've seen, the eras are Byron, Shelley, so it's at the final stages of the Shelley era, then eventually goes to the Gauguin era. You can find out more about that. You can also read about the different stages of the Alonzo upgrade. There will be Alonzo blue, white, purple. There were also others like Alonzo red and black, but these stages obviously they represent the different stages as they proceed towards the final stage. So the test phases and so on until the final stage of the network. You can also read about, there's also this tweet which has we're on track to meet the project dates for both testnet and mainnet #Alonzo upgrade. As Nigel outlined in the last week update, a new era is set to begin on Sunday, 12th of September 2021. So I think they're really confident in their delivery on that exact date of 12th of September 2021. So the whole world is excited. Cardano is pumped, Cardano continues to pump, and Cardano is in the air, guys. so you can read about other products that support the Cardano ecosystem like Plutus. So Plutus, there's also Plutus Core. So this is all tied into smart contract development off-chain, and then eventually porting it onto on-chain. So that this article is actually quite short, but you'll have a very good understanding of the Cardano network, where it was, where it's going, and why, and have at least a 20% understanding of why everyone's so bullish about this ecosystem. But there was also, you can also come to the website, look at, if you want to see the faces of all these people are Byron, Shelley, Gauguin, Basho, Voltaire, and learn more about the Cardano ecosystem. The other thing that was a bit controversial, we can see that Charles Hoskinson responds to criticism over Cardano coin farm partnership. So Cardano has partnered with a firm that is dealing with crypto people say infringing on the privacy of a decentralized ecosystem. So why is Cardano partnering with a firm whose purpose is to actually monitor smart contracts, monitor code? As you can see here, Cardano Foundation announces its partnership with the blockchain analytics provider on Tuesday, which will see coin farms analytics being utilized to ensure compliance with frameworks such as the 6th Anti-Money Laundering Directive and Financial Action Task Force. So we can see a response from the Cardano from Charles Hoskinson, who said that the point and purpose has always been building in layers, building modules, building ecosystems that enable compliance with local regulations. My take on this is that we'll see how this plays out. But if you want to utilize the Cardano ecosystem, if you have a layer on the Cardano ecosystem that enables you to be compliant with regulations in your ecosystem, but you can still leverage the good stuff of Cardano, which I'll see as the upgrades, the good upgrades of Cardano, the scaling and smart contracts and all that, then if you want to leverage, if you want to be compliant, having a service that allows you to do that, I think it's good. But if you want to build a decentralized platforms and ecosystems and have the assuredness that you're not going to be interrupted, you don't have to ask for permission from anyone to do this, then we're good. As soon as you have to ask for permissionless in a ecosystem that's supposed to be permissionless and decentralized, then there's a problem there. You're going to lose a lot of users. You're going to lose a lot of participants, and it will be bad for the whole ecosystem. But let's see how this plays out. Cardano is not too big to fail. The whole crypto space is very, very new. Cardano is yet to prove itself. So I'm really looking forward to the 12th of September when they release their smart contract capabilities. And the articles also talk about some projects that have committed, over 65 projects that have committed on building on the Cardano ecosystem. So that is what is happening around the Cardano network right now, and hence the bullishness. I think that's one of the factors contributing to the whole ecosystem as the way it's evolving right now. So there's Bitcoin with El Salvador and some other countries. There's the Ethereum network with the EIP 1559 recently. There's a Cardano network. There's DeFi. So there's a lot of things happening around the crypto space that are priming the network, the whole crypto ecosystem, that are causing the price to be the way they are right now. But guys, be careful out there when you're trading. Be very careful. Always remember not to invest more than you're willing to invest, and always remember to take out at least your initial investment, all right, just to be safe. So we can see an interesting article here, Cosmosim, which is the ecosystem on the Cosmos network that enables smart contracts capabilities within Cosmos and all the chains that interact with the Cosmos ecosystem that also use this technology. Cosmosim delivers multi-chain smart contracts for Kudos. So they've delivered those smart contracts for Kudos. We're happy to announce the partnership between Kudos and CoinFile, the team behind Cosmosim, a secure multi-chain smart contract engine. Now, what's interesting is that we're seeing a lot of extremely exciting stuff happen around the Cosmos ecosystem, like the inter-blockchain communication protocol, which was released. DeFi has been released on the Cosmos ecosystem. With the Emirates Gravity DEX, there is also persistence. There's a lot of ecosystems building around the Cosmos network, or around the Cosmos ecosystem itself. Ecosystems being built on top of ecosystems, like the Binance Smart Chain. It also leverages the consensus algorithms. Let us look at there's some interesting read in this article that I want to introduce you guys to, especially this last part. Well, there's this part which is a comment from the CoinFire team, and there's this communication from the Kudos team. Maybe briefly, I'll just read about what Kudos is. The Kudos network is a layer 1 blockchain and layer 2 computation oracle being designed to ensure decentralized permissionless access to high performance computing at scale and enabling scaling of computing resources to hundreds of thousands of nodes. So once bridged onto Ethereum, Algorand, Polkadot, and Cosmos, Kudos will enable scalable compute and layer 2 oracles on all of its bridged blockchains. So we can see it's also planning to bridge that. And we see that as a characteristic of networks that are built around the Cosmos ecosystem, which is quite interesting. It's something interesting to look into. So one interesting read from this article is this. For these reasons, many brilliant projects in the Cosmos integrating Cosmosim for their testnet and mainnet, Cyber with parallel computing, Desmos with decentralized social networks, Fetch.ai with autonomous economic agents, IrisNet with an enterprise offering in China, NYM with privacy infrastructure, Persistence with DeFi for enterprise, Radiant Network offering carbon credits, Secret Network with privacy-enabled encrypted contracts, Terra and eMoney focused on DeFi and stablecoins, Juno or Uno with general-purpose smart contracts, exchanges like OKX, Crypto.com, Starport with dev-friendly or developer-friendly interface to build blockchain by Tendermint, and now Kudos. So this is a very interesting read, especially when you see Kudos, which is focusing on the decentralized computational side and incorporating interoperability with different chains. It could be a really interesting play, and we'll see how this partnership works out. Congratulations to Kudos, but we've also seen that Kudos has partnered in the past with companies like Fetch.ai. So they're really focused on figuring out how to decentralize this whole, to have this whole decentralized computing working out, how it works out in the most efficient way. The other thing we want to talk about is Cosmos itself. So lastly, we've referenced Cosmos a lot in this video today. And why not show this article here? So the Cosmos Atom rallies after, Atom is the native token of the Cosmos ecosystem, which rallies after launching. Cosmos is the native token of the Cosmos ecosystem, but it's not like Ethereum where you have to have Ether. We can say it's the most popular token being built around the Cosmos ecosystem because it entirely focuses on the Cosmos ecosystem, and the teams behind it were the ones that started this whole Cosmos rally. But there's three reasons that this article focused on. There was expanding DeFi. As I've talked about, there's a lot of DeFi ecosystems being built around the Cosmos ecosystem. And next, Ethereum Bridge opens up opportunities. A second reason for the Atom rally is the integration of CIF chain with the interblockchain communication, which made the project the first decentralized exchange to enable trades between Cosmos ecosystem and the Ethereum network. This is very bullish. This is very interesting. So the third reason they mentioned here, the third reason for the current bullish momentum comes from an August 23rd announcement that the Interchain Foundation, an organization that funds development grants in the Cosmos ecosystem, had granted funding to the Interlay Development Fund for bringing Bitcoin to the Cosmos network. And they explain here, there's a vault where you can lock up the Bitcoin and mint the wrapped Bitcoin on the other side, which you can use to leverage DeFi within the Cosmos ecosystem. This is obviously going to bring a whole lot of new users within the Cosmos ecosystem, especially the fact that Bitcoin is very liquid. Bitcoin is the biggest currency as far as in terms of market capitalization, and this would be extremely good in terms of increasing liquidity for the whole Cosmos ecosystem and bringing new users, especially users that don't want to get rid of their Bitcoin. They want to have that continued utility. They want their Bitcoin to work for them. They want their money to work for them, so they can leverage the Cosmos ecosystem without actually selling their Bitcoin. This is extremely exciting. Those are very bullish three reasons as to why the Cosmos ecosystem has been growing. They tout themselves as the internet of blockchains, and I think they have a very good potential of becoming something really massive and impactful. So I think that's all I wanted to address today. It's been a bit of a long video, but I think it has addressed a couple of key factors. It addressed regulation. We've looked at interoperability, some exciting upgrades that are coming up, and some interesting partnerships as well as we continue to see this space, how it grows. Also, the venture capitalists continuing to pump money into this space. It's also good to look at them to see where the money is going. Look at where the money is going. Always look out for what they do and not what they say. All these things help us develop better intuition of where this crypto space is going. Alright guys, hope you enjoyed, hope you learned something from today's video, and I hope to see you on the next one. Bye bye guys.